All right, guys, I'm back here. We are at the first off day here in spring training. As you can see, us 1-5, not a great start to spring training. 1-2 against Cleveland. I mean, it's hard to really make any judgments yet. It's early, uh, but I just wanted to go ahead and take a look at some statistics here. Uh, yeah, so Zach Kozar. I mean, we got a few guys here hitting the ball, pretty solid right now. Zach Kozart, Eugenio Suarez, a couple guys whose bats haven't woken up yet. Gillespie swinging the bat well. Just kind of looking through here. Kyle Waldrop swinging, then had 2 at bats. Yeah, it's kind of hard to make a. Let's see, no, not another team. Pitchers. I mean, Rizal Iglesias and Homer Bailey both definitely started out spring training, made good starts. That's definitely reassuring to see. Um, Again, like I said previously, Homer Bailey's kind of fighting for his job here in Cincinnati, whether we're going to make the decision to move him or not. Finnegan, I guess, went 5 innings, which is pretty unusual for a first spring training start. ERA is not exactly where we'd like it, but again, 1 start, so it's kind of hard to make a judgment there. Stephen Wright, I mean, a guy we're definitely going to have to give run support to through 4 innings. So again, ERA is not exactly. Anthony DeSclafani, 3 innings pitched, K'd 6. Impressive. Uh, Drew Storen, 2 innings pitched, 3 Ks. ERA is a little high, but then again, it's only 2 innings pitched. So just kind of taking a quick look at some of our pitchers and what they're looking like at the first break. Um, Not exactly raising any red flags yet as far as, potential moves. So I think I'm going to go ahead and move ahead to the next off day, and I will see you then. Alrighty, I'm back here at off day number 2 here in spring training, coming to the kind of last leg here of spring training. As you can see on the right side there, Cincinnati. Our record is up to 8-13. Still, not on the side we'd like to be, but we've got 8 wins on the board. So, yeah, there's not really anything to say about that. Looking back through statistics, Zach Kozar continues to swing the bat well, hitting 297. May give him some leadoff opportunities here in this last leg of spring training, just to kind of see how he comes through with that option. Suarez still swinging well. Votto's got the bat working. Phillips a little cold. Phillips is a very interesting guy. Meant to make a comment on him earlier in the video, but screw it all. I'll make it now. Another guy who's kind of fighting for his job, honestly. I mean, looking at his contract, we're paying him 6.8 this year and 6.8 next year. So, as much as I do like that dude, it may not be on a rebuilding squad. May want to take a look at what we can possibly get for him for your little cap space. Jay Bruce, he's another guy who's going to have to bring the average to earn his keep here. I mean, granted, he's only making 4.8, which for him is, I would say, pretty fair. But he is a free agent at the end of the year. Bruce, we don't want to lose Bruce at the end of the year for nothing. So again, another guy we may try to move if the average isn't where we'd like it to be, just to kind of get something back for him so we don't lose him for nothing. Barnhart hitting 270, sounds about right. Hamilton's another guy who's interesting. 1.1 million, rather fair contract in the last year of his contract, though. Another guy we don't really want to lose for nothing. He's got value now, and if he can't bring us, the value we need, then another guy that we're not opposed to moving. I think I'm going to be using the games you'll see me playing. I'll use Billy Hamilton differently than I think most people will. I'm not really interested in having him free swing. I think most of the time you'll see me laying bunts down with him just because he can hit 400, laying bunts down and trying to beat him out. He's a pretty solid bunter. So he'll kind of earn his keep that way. But if it's not, if I see something that a team's going to give me more value for him, I'm not opposed to letting him go. Peraza, still swinging the bat well. Another guy who's kind of looking into our utility infield position. Him and Ivan DeJesus, kind of a position battle there. Mesoraco batting average kind of fell there, only 1 home run, 125 at bats, but still, I'd like to see a little more production out of his bat. Whereas Barnhart's hitting 270, guy's going to give him competition at the plate. Barnhart offers us the switch hitting catcher contract, making not a lot of money. Another Indiana guy who we're going to definitely look to keep around. I don't know if I really can go ahead and say catcher of the future, but certainly a guy that brings a lot of value with a switch hitting bat and not really going to be expecting a huge contract in the offseason. Whereas with Devin Mesoraco, we're paying him 6.5 virtually for the next 3 years. Again, got to keep in mind rebuilding mode, but Rocco does bring a lot of pop to the plate, so I do want to keep him around. Dietrich with getting the bat moving. Cole Gillespie, Montero, Pacheco hitting 412. That's pretty impressive. He's gotten 17 at bats, a dinger. Just another good guy to have on the bench. Not really looking to be a starter on our team, but definitely could be a nice bench piece. Can play first, can catch, can play infield, a little outfield. So certainly a value piece on the bench. And looking at his contract, it's hard to argue with that. T. Holt, 174. Scotty Schebler struggling with the bat. Duvall, that's a little bit upsetting. I mean, in real life, he's really got a lot of pop in his bat. Only seeing 2 home runs and 22 at bats. 136 average. Yeah, he's not a guy. He's a young guy too, 27. He's got potential. Not really a guy that I want to put on a bench. I don't think he's going to benefit from being on the bench. Rather have him in the lineup in AAA than sitting on the bench. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. DeJesus Jr. at this point not really putting a strong case to make the opening day roster. Ruggiano. Kind of what I expected. Not going to say I expected for him to hit 360, but again, just another quality piece. Waldrop still swinging the bat well. Another guy who could potentially, young guy, could potentially make the roster if he keeps the bat where it's at. Trying to see what else I could really look into here before I move it to the end of spring training. I think that's kind of it for right now. If I see a free agent or anything like that, I'll get the video rolling again. But I think that should about do it for now. Alrighty, so our first free agent signing of the series is going to come to Jarrett Pendon, a 22-year-old shortstop from Indiana. As you can see kind of up there in the corners, he's got some quality contact. Speed offers us versatility on the infield. And for us, this kind of guy right now, I'm not really sure what his potential is going to be, but for us, it's a no-brainer. So Jarrett Pendon, welcome to Cincinnati. Alrighty, guys, we have got a trade alert here coming out of Cincinnati. After some research, we figured out that the Chicago White Sox were willing to move Brett Lowry for the right offer. He's 26 years old with a B potential, 78 overall, and fellow countryman of our first baseman, Joey Votto. We think he's going to be able to make a good fit for our ball club. What are we dealing with? Well, Ivan DeJesus, who we discussed prior, probably isn't looking to make the ball club. A lower-end prospect, and Rod Crowell, and Elmer Gonzalez, who's a Puerto Rican prospect, starting pitcher, one of our better prospects right now in the organization. If I could find his information here. Elmer Gonzalez from Illinois. I'm sorry, he's from Puerto Rico. I'm sorry, someone else I was looking for Illinois. Wesley Taylor, who's from Illinois. But yeah, again, I think we're getting a really good deal here in Brett Lowry on a $3.1 million contract. Going to be he's under arbitration control for another year, and we think he's going to be a good fit to our ball club. So welcome to Cincinnati, Brett Lowry. All right, guys, we've got our second trade alert here of spring training. Whoopsie, I just hit a wrong button. There we go. Looks like the Cincinnati Reds are going to be making a move with the Chicago Cubs, our interdivision rivals, to bring in catcher and outfielder Kyle Schwarber. Background information on Kyle Schwarber: went to the University of Indiana as an Ohio native. I know it's a very ballsy move. You can see the top 50 prospecting with Wesley Taylor. Definitely brings a lot to the table as far as a prospect, but not MLB ready yet. He is an Illinois native as well, so we're getting an Ohio native for an Illinois native. And Schwarber's a guy we can plug into that left field hole right now. Brings a lot of power to the plate. We can use him as a little bit of a utility kind of guy, fill in a lot of positions. And again, it's very ballsy to send off your number one prospect. I realize that in a rebuilding organization, but we believe that Kyle Schwarber will be a better fit for our organization right now. Alrighty, guys, we've hit the final off day of spring training. As you can see, the Reds have made a significant move in the right direction, getting back to 13-15, almost back to 500 after the last update. That's pretty impressive. As you can tell, I'm pretty happy with the moves I've made so far. Yeah, so let's take a look, I guess, at some statistics. We're looking at here. Zach Cozart still bringing it with the bat. Looks like Brandon Phillips, I guess, has stepped up the bat a little bit after Brett Lowry showing up. Got a position battle there pretty much for second base. I don't think Eugenio Suarez right now or Zach Cozart are going to be losing their starting jobs. So there's kind of a position battle between Phillips and Brett Lowry for that starting position. Jay Bruce still struggling with the bat. Barnhart moving it along. Holtz increased the batting average. Dietrich's hitting it well. Who else? Kyle Schwarber continues to hit it well. Ruggiano hitting the cover off the ball. Waldrop hitting the ball well. Now the more interesting side of the equation, which is the pitching staff. Iglesias leading the pitching staff right now. 1.97 ERA. Some 32 innings, 30 Ks. Very impressive for the young right-hander out of Cuba. An impressive spring training for Homer Bailey. Anthony DeSclafani, I would say, also pretty impressive. 2-0, 3.5 ERA. So he's certainly, showing that he wants to spot in the rotation. Brandon Finnegan, kind of upsetting, honestly, on the ERA side at 6.8. 32 Ks in 27 innings is impressive, but his earned runs and his win-loss right now is just not cutting it right now for what I'm looking for out of him. Right now, at the end of spring training, he'll probably break as a starter, but if he continues to have an ERA and numbers like that, I wouldn't exactly put it against me to put him in the bullpen at some point. I think just with his talent, you can't waste him with a 6.83 ERA in the starting rotation. John Mott, yeah, okay. So Drew Storen, a solid end to the spring training. 0.9 ERA, 10 innings pitched, 1-0. Definitely filling his role well. Tim Melville, I would say an impressive spring training. 3 ERA, 3 innings pitched, 1-0. Stephen Wright, kind of interesting, really. I mean, 0-3, obviously not what we want to see, a 5.47 ERA, but only 24 innings pitched, 17 strikeouts for the knuckleballer. So we'll see how he goes moving forward. Tony Cingrani, not an impressive ERA, really not at all. 4.82, 9 innings pitched. I think that'll drop with more innings pitched, though. 14 strikeouts. Again, will be more of a left-handed specialist, I think, out of the bullpen. Lorenzen, not many innings pitched, so it's kind of hard to judge. Dan Straley, 3.3 ERA, hard to complain with that. Stevenson, again, another prospect. Who else did I want to look? Pat Venditte, 8 innings pitched with a 2 ERA, 4 strikeouts. Probably not looking to make the big roster. But Blake Wood, very impressive. So, yeah, I mean, as you can see, not a lot of guys that are very, solid. How do I put this? Our pitching staff isn't where I'd like it to be quite yet. So I definitely will be looking to improve it before we start the regular season. Alrighty, guys, we've got a trade alert going down here in Cincinnati. We have made the decision to go ahead and move Brandon Phillips prior to the regular season. Although we are going to move him, we do love our dad dude, so we decided to move him back to his hometown area of Atlanta, and we will be sending him to the Atlanta Braves organization. We wish him all the best. In return, we're going to be bringing in some prospects with some very high value. Arodys Vizcaíno, a closing pitcher who throws very hard, Dominican, who we look to hopefully in the future maybe move as a closer. But for now, with Drew Storen in the back end of our bullpen, probably will fall into a setup role. Starting pitcher Mike Foltynewicz, who's really more of just kind of a prospect piece. Don't really know what we're doing with him yet, but he's a guy with a little bit of experience already in the MLB. So we thought he was a good guy to add into the mix. And prospect relief pitcher Robert Davidov, who's got a B potential, already at 57 overall, 20 years old. So another high-quality prospect. We think this is for both sides, this is going to work out very well. Alrighty, guys, the Reds have go ahead and made another deal prior to opening day. Like I said before, we were looking to upgrade our pitching staff, and I think we've done a very good job of doing that. Irvin Santana will be coming to Cincinnati in exchange for prospect starting pitcher Derek Damon and another prospect in Mike Foltynewicz, who was just brought in the Brandon Phillips trade. Irvin Santana is a guy I've been eyeballing for a while to bring in as an upgrade to our starting rotation. To take a look at Irvin Santana real quick, he brings a lot of stamina. He can eat some innings, which for a younger team to help protect the bullpen is crucial. He's got a B potential, 82 overall. 33 is a little higher in age, but he's got a lot to offer our organization. Got an extremely high upside, has a no-hitter to his name. Definitely a proven winning pitcher with a mid to low ERA as far as a top-of-the-line starting pitcher. He's under control for the next 3 seasons for a high-end top-of-the-rotation pitcher at a pretty reasonable contract. And that's going to go ahead and wrap things up for Spring Training Edition here on Reds Baseball. I'm your host, Fletch, and we'll see you next time.